All right, guys, this is my playoff predictions for the Western Conference of the 2013 playoffs. Let's get right into it now with the number 1 seeded Chicago Blackhawks against the 8th seed Minnesota Wild. Hawks won the regular season 2 wins in regulation and 1 win in a shootout. The Hawks obviously had an incredible year with the crazy win streak to the amazing goaltending from Sugar Ray Emery and Corey Crawford. They played amazing. And the phenomenal play from Patrick Kane, Taves, and Hossa. And even more the depth players like Brandon Saad, Frolik, Bickle, they all played amazing, and the defense too, just crazy. They had a picture-perfect year, couldn't say anything wrong about this team. They are, on paper, probably the best team in the NHL besides Pittsburgh. They are just unreal, and I think that they're going to have no problem with the Minnesota Wild. So let's jump over to Minnesota really quick. Obviously, they have their 2 big free agent guys. They picked up Zach Parise, who was amazing this year for them, and Ryan Suter, arguably probably my Norris Trophy pick. He played amazing the whole year. They have a very skilled team, obviously with Jason Pominville and Danny Heatley, Parise, Koivu, Bouchard. They're a little weak in the center position, and I think that the Hawks are really going to feast on that, but also their lack of defense. Ryan Suter, yeah, that's great, but he's really looking bare other than that. Jonas Brodin's going to be a player of the future, but I think that the Hawks are going to have absolutely no problem. We're going to get our first sweep here. I think they're going to sweep the Minnesota Wild in 4 games, obviously, so I have the Hawks sweeping the Wild. Sorry, Wild fans, not this year. Okay, on to matchup number 2, probably the biggest surprise of the 2013 NHL year. We have the number 2 seeded Anaheim Ducks. I know it's weird to say this series should kind of be reversed, but the number 2 Ducks against the 7th seeded Red Wings. So the Red Wings won the regular season year 2-1, but where the hell did the Ducks come from? They started strong against Vancouver with a big 7-2 win in the first, I think it was the second game of the year. They got just destroyed, but the Ducks just started strong and never looked back. Extremely good year for the Ducks. Everyone is playing like a team. They have depth. They have obviously the first line just being gross. It's just crazy, but they do have really good depth. But the one concern I do have is their defense. I don't know how they made it work with Beauchemin and Surrey, but they did make it work. It's not too bad, I guess, but that would be one of my concerns, obviously, with the goaltending. They were amazing with Hiller and Victor Fast. He played amazing too. So let's move on to Detroit, and no way they were going to let their 21-year playoff drought end. They have made the playoffs every year I have been alive. That is insane, guys. They are just stacked. Obviously, Datsuk and Zetterberg, and they do have the Stanley Cup experience. I think they won 2 with Datsuk and 1 with Zetterberg. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they do have the playoff experience. Once playoff hits, the regular season is out the window. But just because the Wings are getting a little bit older and the Ducks are younger, they're faster, they're stronger, I'm going to pick the Ducks in 7 games. It can really go either way, but I'm picking the Ducks in 7 games. Let me know what you guys think. This was a really hard one to choose. On to the St. Louis Blues versus the LA Kings now. So the Blues finished 4th in the West, with the Kings being number 5. The Kings won the season series 3-0. Let's start with St. Louis here. Huge additions on the defensive core. Bullmeister, Pietrangelo, Leopold, and Shattenkirk. That is just nasty. One of probably the best top 6 defensemen in the whole NHL. Leopold and Bullmeister are going to make this team much better team. Obviously, their offense is very skilled too. Chris Stewart had a wonderful year. Expect him to step up in the playoffs, and even the rookie Tarasenko too. He's going to play really good. One question I have though: who do you start in net, Halak or Elliott? I'm going to go with Halak because I think he's the better goalie, and Elliott's kind of streaky. But I know Halak does play good in the playoffs. So if I was Ken Hitchcock, I would go with Yarrow Halak. Let's jump all the way over to the defending champions now, the LA Kings. These guys are hard to play against. They're probably one of the hardest teams to play against. Just ask anyone that they played in the playoffs last year. They just tore them apart. They are big and strong. Every single line can score or fight or hit or pass or make plays. They are a very solid team up and down the roster. They kind of flew under the radar this year, finishing number 5 in the West, but they did pick up Robin Regeer for the defense. I think that's a very smart move. He's a very solid defenseman, obviously in net, Jonathan Quick. I do have LA in 6 games, just with the experience that everyone has. All of them have a Stanley Cup ring, and they know what it takes. So kind of like the Pittsburgh thing, I'm taking them in 6 games. 6 games is all it'll take to oust the St. Louis Blues. All right, now for the last matchup in the first round for the Western Conference. We have the San Jose Sharks versus the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver was seed number 3 with San Jose being number 6. The Sharks actually won the season series 3-0. We'll start with the Sharks now. They are ridiculously skilled offensively. Marlo Thornton, Havlat, Pavelski, Couture. Obviously, you've got Brent Burns up there now playing on the forward position. But I mean, I think that they have underachieved every single year for the past 5 years. I think getting Antti Niemi was probably the best move that this franchise has made in a long time. He does have the Stanley Cup ring because he did win a cup with Chicago, but I think he is going to be the it factor in this series. It's going to come down to goaltending. Everyone says this is the year for the Sharks. They had a good regular season. This is the year they're going to win it all. This is the year they're going to win it all. And they always seem to flop. You can say the exact same thing about Vancouver, though. I'm a Vancouver fan, diehard Vancouver fan. I'm wearing my Canucks jersey right now. I've seen it all. I've seen the highs, and I've definitely seen the lows. It's obviously frustrating at times. So what team isn't? Teams go up and down, sideways, up and down, whatever. I'd say the Sharks have more talent than the Canucks offensive-wise, but the Canucks have a more well-rounded team. With the addition of Derek Roy, makes them very scary. They have 3 solid centermen there. If Kessler's healthy, watch out because he is a beast, guys. If you guys remember when the Canucks faced the Predators a couple of years ago, he single-handedly won that. He was just a man amongst men. He was unreal. He just killed it. Obviously, Corey Schneider is starting in net for the Canucks. He's definitely earned it this year. I'm not going to get into the Luongo drama because it's just too much, but it is comforting to know we have the best backup in the league in Roberto Luongo. It's sad. I know he wants to play, but Schneider's the man right now. But if he has an off game, or knock on wood, he gets hurt, we can easily go back to Luongo. So this might be a biased thing. I'm going to say Vancouver in 7 games. I think I took everything into consideration here, and I just think that it's time for them to just go ahead and just do it. Take it one series by a time. I've watched Vancouver play this year. I've seen their highs. I've watched every single Canucks game. I've seen them play unreal, and I've seen them play like absolute shit. But I've seen the exact same thing with the Sharks. So I don't know. It could go either way, kind of like the Ducks and the Wings thing. Could go either way, but I'm picking Vancouver in 7 games, guys. Tell me what you think. Should be one of the hardest fought series in the first round. Alright, so that is my predictions for the Western Conference for the 2013 playoffs. Again, I have the Hawks over the Wild, the Ducks over the Wings, the Blues losing to LA, and then I have San Jose losing to Vancouver. So let me know, guys. Let me know what your predictions are. I want to know how they stack up to mine. If I was crazy wrong on any of them, or if I was right, let me know. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching the playoffs. I'll be back for round 2. I can't even wait for playoff hockey. Anyways, guys, have a good one, and thanks for watching.